Meanwhile, we want to shift gears a little bit. The market sell-off coming just 26 days before the midterm elections. So what impact will it have, if any, on the elections? Let's bring back our panel. Peter, the main question is whether this market correction, if we can call it that, it may be a little short of a correction with some indexes, but is that going to spill over, as Liz Ann Saunders was suggesting it might, into the economy?
Only if we keep tumbling down. If we level off now and start to recover, I don't think it's going to have much consequence. The economy is not doing the Republicans much good. They have not had good messaging on this. And this election's being fought out.
Peter, I've been to those. I've seen those rallies that the president had. He's always touting the economy. I mean, frankly, he gets involved in too many other things, the Russian investigation, et cetera. But he does tout the economy at all of them.
And if you collect my students together, they'll tell you I'm brilliant. Barack Obama did it. No, Barack Obama did it.
Your students are right. Go ahead.
Barack Obama did it. Donald Trump does it. They like to speak to gymnasiums full of true believers. The real question is, does it impress the swing voters?
Well, it did in 2016.
Well, this is not 2016. This is 2018.
Right.
And this is being fought out in the suburbs of Pennsylvania, New York, California, Illinois, and places like that. My feeling is that they're in trouble in the House because in those suburban districts where a lot of women are shifting to the Democratic side, it's the social issues that matter. Things like abortion. Healthcare is a really big issue.
Healthcare is a big issue.
The Democrats are outspending the Republicans on healthcare 2-to-1 on ads because it has traction.
Oh, no, absolutely, they do. But Adam, they're not talking a lot about the economy, or they haven't been, the Democrats, up until now, because they knew that the economic fundamentals were very strong. That's why, other than medical care, other than getting back to the old Obamacare arguments, they've been avoiding the economy. I'm wondering if now, because of what's happening with the market, they may get into it.
Well, the Democrats were trying very hard to talk about tariffs, and I think they'll, as things worsen with China, they'll continue to talk about that.
Frankly, a lot of Democrats were with the president on the tariff issue, but go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. Some, but I'm really happy for this opportunity to say I agree 100% with what Peter said a moment ago. He's right about this. I mean, the economy was in a multi-year expansion in 2016, and it didn't matter. I don't think these swing Trump voters are that tuned into the stock market any more than they were to the fact that we had low unemployment at the end of the Obama administration. They're focused on other issues.
But
not
Keith, the fact is that as the president's pointed out many times, and his economists certainly have, we were in this really kind of stable state of growth that was under 2% for a lot of the years, and it really wasn't getting. There's an old expression in economics: if you're coasting, you're going downhill. We were coasting, and politically that was a downhill. That's one reason why the president was getting so much juice, because of the economy, because of his business approach to the economy, which we hadn't been seeing from the Obama administration.
Well, I think you're spot on. People have always historically voted not because of their wallet, but because of the perceived impact of the election on their wallet. It's a subtle difference, but I think this time around in 2018 it's going to play a very significant role, particularly with unemployment the way it is, particularly with joblessness the way it is, particularly with the composition of who's working changing the way it is. I think it's actually going to have a material impact on how the election plays out.
All right. Well, Veronica, on the other hand, of course, markets are great predictors of the future, unless this is a blip. And again, this may just be a blip that over a long term is hardly noticed as we note the chart going up and up. But if it's more than a blip, if it is a predictor of something that will spill over in the economy, will it happen before the elections?
You know, that's a good question. I wish I knew the answers to that. But what I do know is pretty sure that we're going to see more volatility into this election. I think that's one thing everyone can agree on, that the midterms, the uncertainty it brings, could bring more uncertainty in the market, more ups and downs, especially usually October. That time leading up is a pretty volatile time, and that's nothing new. We've seen that before.
Well, Peter, one thing obviously that folks out there, voters, are seeing, or those who have a 401k are seeing the value of their 401k go down rather dramatically this week. But other than that, will there be, for example, some kind of job spillover as a result of what we're seeing in the market before the election?
No, I don't think so. We can continue to create jobs, and more importantly, businesses are devoting a lot of their tax cut money to training, and that's how we're getting the kind of productivity growth we're getting. The economy is going to advance at about 3% a year, which is appreciably better than Mr. Obama accomplished. That's wonderful. However, There's the fairness issue that's no one's mentioned. Watch the Democrats shift to the fairness issue in the final weeks of the campaign. That's where they began, and that's where they will end.
Exactly. That's where they began. Keith, the bottom line, though, is corporate profits. That's what affects the markets more than anything else. Are we going to see a disappointment on the corporate profits front when the earnings begin to come in?
I don't think we're going to. I think the numbers I'm projecting are 18.5%, 19.5%. I think that's going to consolidate as we start to get some of the earnings. But I tell you what, God help any company that does not meet or lowers guidance, because the market is going to separate here. We're going to see companies that matter and companies that don't. And anybody who doesn't is in for a
very
rough
quickly,
ride.
Adam, you agree on the tech front there?
Oh, sure. I mean, these are highly valued companies in the worst of times. They're extremely highly valued in the best of times, which is what we really are in now, despite the past couple days.